Good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Jessica Blum here, joining you from the 1011 Alert Center to talk about a couple things standing in our way between now and a warmer end to the weekend, milder temperatures throughout the course of next week as we begin the month of February. So our weather headlines this evening kind of take you through the two things that are going to stand in our way between now and those warmer temperatures. A bitter cold start to tomorrow morning. You saw those clouds break apart today throughout much of the later afternoon hours, and by the evening we were sitting with pretty clear skies, especially now into tonight too, once the sun went down. But the other thing besides the cold start to tomorrow, the cold day we really have on Saturday, will be another round of some light snow tracking from west to east across the state, and may drop some minor accumulations once again for a total of about 3 rounds of snow that we've been tracking throughout this week. No one round has really been all that impactful, other than maybe the timing of it being at times during the morning commute. Today it was kind of more so in Lincoln in the afternoon hours that we saw some light snow come down and reduce visibilities for a little bit. But then we're looking on to warmer temperatures in the month of February. So talking about all of that, we'll boil it down to just tomorrow here to start as we look at the cold start to tomorrow and snow chances. Here's what we have to highlight. A forecasted low for the Lincoln area of -6 Saturday morning. You have to go back to, I believe it was the end of last week when we had those single-digit low temperatures Friday and Saturday, and then you remember Sunday and Monday falling down around 10, almost 15 below. Our last 3 mornings, the low temperatures, 5 Tuesday, 5 Wednesday, 20 Thursday, and I won't say today's yet because that's an interesting fact for Friday, but outside of today, the last 3 mornings have been above zero. We'll drop again below zero tomorrow with a little bit of a wind chill as well, before temperatures seem like they're rebounding, but not all that much. We'll have a wind chill throughout the day, and then snow chances really picking up in eastern Nebraska by the late afternoon and evening hours, so we're going to track some of that. But as for your morning lows tomorrow, the wind chills in eastern Nebraska, especially around 10 to 20 below, are expected. We are going to see those temperatures really struggle because we'll likely have single-digit wind chills even in the afternoon through the warmest portions of Saturday, and then those light snow chances on Saturday, again, for Lincoln, likely beginning Saturday evening. So as for any dangerous cold alerts that we do have across the state, you can see several counties are within a cold weather advisory starting at midnight tonight and running through 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, so through about the mid-morning hours. For wind chills in this area in particular, dropping as low as about 20 to 25 below. It's in northeast Nebraska that we're thinking the wind may come up a little bit more during the coolest part of the day, and that'll help those wind chills kind of drop a little bit more, and hence why the National Weather Service has issued a cold weather advisory. Everybody else in eastern central Nebraska anticipate wind chills to be on the order of 10 to 15 below, including for us here in Lincoln. Hour by hour tomorrow morning, I think we'll drop around 10 to 15 below, especially 7, 8, 9, those coldest hours usually of each morning time frame, before you can see the actual temperatures are trying to climb to about 20 degrees, but afternoon wind chills are still in the single digits. As for your weather almanac for today, Friday, January 30th, we've got one more day left of January. I will not be with you for that last day of January, but we'll pick things up on our evening live streams, this next big change that we are branding it as, by next Monday, Groundhog's Day. We'll kind of have maybe a little discussion on what Unadilla Billy saw. Of course, as us in meteorologists, we are still deeming there will be more winter because there will be more winter, and what we know in terms of the temperatures, snow chances lasting a while longer. But today's high temperature at 22 degrees, you may have thought that happened this afternoon. That's what happens in a normal day. The low temperature of 6 degrees, you may have thought that happened this morning. That did not happen. I also wanted to say quickly, with the precipitation and snow that did happen in the Lincoln area today, the airport was able to record a trace of precipitation and a trace of snow. That was all. So, again, not very impactful in the way of any new snowfall today, though we did see 2/10 at the Lincoln airport yesterday with the snowfall on Thursday. But this is what I wanted to point out about the high and low temperatures for the day today. High temperatures today happened really overnight last night with the cloud cover. Temperatures were still in the lower 20s at midnight. And then we saw falling temperatures throughout the day as some colder air was brought in from the north, and then the skies cleared out. So temperatures as of this evening are still falling. So our low temperature for the day is 6 happening right now. And so our low temperature for all of Friday is probably going to happen closer to midnight tonight. And then we'll drop to sub-zero readings for tomorrow morning. So interesting kind of Friday as you look at these high temperatures. Again, they happened really overnight last night. Some in the 40s out west, but most of us were in the 20s and 30s. Again, very early on your Friday, and then we saw the clearing skies. So really based on what the airport observed throughout the day today, the overcast skies of early on were able to break apart past about 2:30 today here in the capital city, and then we really saw skies turn more clear as we moved into the 5 o'clock hour and since then. So here's our look at our sky view cameras across the state. O'Neill, you see snowy tundra out there. We're going to all be really cold going into tonight, knowing that we have clear skies and some snow on the ground. The heating of the day, if you want to call it that, even though we didn't really see a lot of heating of the day, what we did have overnight is going to continue to cool off really going into tomorrow morning. So we're at 6 at the airport, still at 7 at the 1011 studio. It feels like -4. We've had sub-zero wind chills today since about, I think it was, yeah, ooh. We've had sub-zero wind chills maybe all day. Yeah, you have to go back to 8 in the morning. So we have had sub-zero wind chills throughout the day today. So Friday felt bitterly cold. Again, bitter cold to start the weekend. And then we'll come out of it by the end of this weekend. Excited to show you the warm-up as you join me here this Friday evening past 8 o'clock. Again, January 30th, 2026. Lincoln temperatures are in the single digits. Nobody is in the double digits at this point. Some on the east side of town and even on the west side of town have cooled to about 4 degrees. In southeast Nebraska, single digits are common. It is down to 0 in Grand Island, 1 in Fullerton and Hastings, as well as York. 9 is the warmest in southeast Nebraska and Plattsmouth. You expand the view across the state. There are some in the 20s out in the higher elevation of the Sandhills. Some, though, have actual air temperatures in the negatives in northeast Nebraska. Wayne at -2, Albion at -2, Valentine at -2, Broken Bow at -3. The temperature change compared to 24 hours ago is pretty significant. A lot of us 15, 25 to almost 30 degrees colder than the last time you joined me on our live stream last night. So noticeable difference into Friday. Again, our coldest stretch of temperatures we were expecting to see throughout Friday and into Saturday in this week as a whole. Again, those northerly winds have been ushering in some colder air throughout the day. They were gusty at times, too, especially in Lincoln this afternoon. But they have calmed down somewhat. They are below 10 miles per hour for everyone except those maybe in far southeastern Nebraska. Nebraska City is still recording a 12-mile-per-hour wind. And when we're this cold, that does produce a decent wind chill. Wanted to show you that nobody's reporting any higher wind gusts. But as for your peak wind gusts today, we did top out in the 25 to 30-plus mile-an-hour range. That made it feel that much colder, even as we were in the teens today. So enough of a wind to maintain a sub-zero wind chill throughout the afternoon. There's your wind chill right now. Again, 4 below in Lincoln, but some are in the 10 to 15 degree range already just out to our west along the Platte River up toward Columbus. Norfolk's at -13. Tacoma, Holdridge sitting at -15 for what it feels like outside. So bundle up. If you got any evening travel plans tonight or early tomorrow, make sure you're not leaving any skin exposed. Got the gloves, the scarf, the hat, layers if you are not looking at a scarf or a hat. But there's those clear skies across much of eastern and central Nebraska. Snow showers are still streaking across western Nebraska, but they have kind of maintain some coverage over much of that area too. So That is a part of our next system, actually. As I zoom out, you'll still see some snow showers up toward Rapid City as well, all of this kind of drifting south. And then some warmer air out west over the Rockies, producing precipitation to maybe fall in liquid form in the form of some rain. But I'll give you the overall view, showing our next disturbance that's kind of crossing the United States and Canada border. That is going to bring a warm front from west to east. Out ahead of that warm front, we'll have some snow chances before the warm front will bring us much noticeably warmer air by the end of this weekend. So showing you Skycast over Nebraska, going forward in time, you'll see those snow showers out ahead of the warm front will organize a little bit more by tomorrow morning. I think as the sun's coming up a little bit after that, we'll see that in northwestern Nebraska. It'll track east with time, especially those north of I-80 and north central and northeast Nebraska have a better chance at seeing a little more accumulation. I think there will be some dry air to overcome as this band is trying to organize a little bit throughout the morning hours. So until we can see some saturation in the lower levels of the atmosphere, snow may be hard to make it all the way to the ground initially as you're seeing this move in, and then it kind of comes together. Again, mainly for those north of I-80, this is going into tomorrow evening, and even on the backside of really this warm front, you're seeing warm enough conditions that some sleet, freezing rain may be trying to mix in for a localized area or two, and then maybe some light showers, but really not looking at a whole lot of snow in the Lincoln area going through this evening. It does come up a little bit more for snow chances, I think, late tomorrow night into early Sunday, but by tomorrow morning, things are kind of clearing out already. Or sorry, not tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. And then maybe some lingering cloud cover early on Sunday, maybe toward the early afternoon hours across far eastern Nebraska, but a lot of sunshine elsewhere to help them warm up throughout the day. So as for amounts in the Lincoln area through the next 36 hours, we're thinking about a half an inch, if not less, really. Again, you didn't see that snow from Skycast sticking over the Lincoln area for very long. This isn't going to be an efficient snow for us in southeast Nebraska. It may be a little bit more efficient again as it's tracking across the northern counties. So in total, through early Sunday, this is what we've deemed the snowfall potential and the forecast for snowfall amounts through this weekend. Trace to an inch for a lot in the light blue colored shade. I would even say maybe a trace to half an inch for a lot of those areas. The 1+ areas in north central and northeast Nebraska, Columbus, Norfolk, probably not many getting to 2 inches. So really on the low end of snowfall totals again with this next round of snow as we're talking about Saturday and then through the early portions of Sunday. But this is mostly a Saturday event and then pushes out of here early on Sunday. So I wouldn't be all that impressed by what we see on Saturday, unfortunately. As for your weekend forecast, again, very frigid this night going into tomorrow morning with a low of -6. Wind chills around 10 to 15 below in Lincoln, 10 to 20 below across eastern Nebraska. Cold, though, throughout Saturday. Again, a high of 22, but wind chills will still be in the single digits through the warmest portions of the day. The light snow showers will pick up across eastern Nebraska late afternoon, evening time frame. And then we'll look a lot milder by Sunday. Quick sneak peek, 45 for a high. So after single-digit wind chills on Saturday afternoon, you're looking at high temperatures in the 40s. A lot better by Sunday. Statewide, here's your low temperatures for tomorrow morning. Again, a lot of us falling down to around 5 below in central and eastern Nebraska. Teens, 20s, far out west for low temperatures. It's most of us in central and eastern Nebraska bundling up together in this idea that wind chills will be around 10 to 20 below. It's 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then high temperatures tomorrow. This is a little deceiving again. There will be some wind. So I think we'll have single-digit wind chills, even though the temperatures are trying to warm to the 20-degree mark. 30s, 40s, and 50s out in the Panhandle. Panhandle will be worlds different compared to where we're at in eastern Nebraska tomorrow. As for your wind chills tomorrow afternoon, there you see it, single digits, maybe at times, briefly getting into the double digits for some. And then your low temperatures on Sunday start to look more seasonal in the teens. Afternoon highs, warning to the 40s, 50s to around 60 degrees in southwest Nebraska. This will feel balmy compared to where we've been for the last couple weekends and throughout much of this last week. So February, Sunday, really starting out on a mild, warmer note. So what's been fun is Chief Meteorologist Brad Anderson kind of took to social media earlier today and was like, hey, car wash forecast, car wash alert day kind of on Sunday. It'll be the best day to kind of maybe get a little more bang for your buck and have that car wash last a little bit longer. I know I've been waiting to give the car a bath after the grime that has been the last couple snows and the streets warming up and everything. So that's why I think it's good to go by the end of this weekend. Lines will probably be long, so if you don't want to go Sunday, maybe next week at some point. Not only does Sunday look warm, we're still in the 40s for Groundhog Day on Monday. Seasonal temperatures in the middle and upper 30s Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. And then mild by Thursday. We'll have high temperatures closer to 50 degrees by then. Really looking forward to that. And what I haven't mentioned too is as we see the snow fall Saturday into early Sunday, if you're talking about warming up to the 40s and 50s, we are already going to start the melting process pretty early on Sunday once those temperatures are warming up behind the warm front moving through. The longer range forecast from the 8 to 14 day period from the 7th through the 13th, so getting closer to the middle of February now, we're finally looking at a little bit better chances at above average precipitation. This would be in the 33 to 40% chance across the state of leaning toward above average precipitation. And during that time frame, it's also leaning toward warmer than average temperatures, which would favor, I think, more liquid than snow in the forecast going forward. So something we're going to be keeping an eye on as we head toward the middle of this month. But as I round things out this evening and as you've joined me, again, we're going to be cold, cold, cold for Saturday morning. Maybe a good morning to just sleep through what you got to do early on in the day. I should probably get out and do some grocery shopping myself. But anyway, cold, bundle up if you got to get out and about. Low temperatures are going to be falling below zero, but the wind chill will, again, feel around 10 to 20 below. Afternoon temperatures going to still feel like the single digits. And then we'll have snow chances in eastern Nebraska picking up by late afternoon and largely by the evening time frame, even though it's probably not going to be a whole lot of accumulation. Once again, this may be our best round to produce an inch or more in north central and northeast Nebraska. I don't think we'll touch anywhere near that in southeast Nebraska. So still not a good chance at any significant amount of snow in the near future. February just looks warmer than average for quite some time, if not creeping toward average maybe Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. But that's your weekend forecast and heading into February. That's what we just looked at this evening. I appreciate everyone joining me. Again, this next big change live stream that we're branding now is going to be a 10:30 in the morning thing with meteorologist Bill Rentschler, and then an 8 o'clock thing with me in the evening time frame during the week. Carmelo Latuco will have you covered on the weekends at 8 o'clock, Saturday and Sunday, so be sure to tune into that. Of course, Brad will have the latest forecast tonight at 10, but we appreciate you all, and I hope you stay rather warm, even though we look at those frigid temperatures by tomorrow morning. And I'll join you once we come out on the other side with warmer temperatures early next week.
1011 News is everywhere. Download our smart TV apps and follow us on social media.